Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry I missed you yesterday. I was just trying to get ahead with stuff. I wanted to get all my board sort stuff packed and out. I didn't really have anything new to share with you yesterday. It was a lot of the same, and that wasn't cool. I did take one of these apart last night to see if it was going to be content worthy. And this is, and I know it's upside down, I'm sorry, Citrix, C-I-T-R-I-X, Net Scaler 5D WAN. That's a wireless network, wireless area network, I think it stands for. Not a computer person, so I'm good at taking them apart. I'm not good at figuring out what they do. So I did take one of these apart last night. Before I get into this, let me just show you a couple places you have to make sure you get the screws out. There's a security screw under this sticker. There's one on this side. There's one on the other side too. You want to get these out, this out. You have to get really pretty much every single screw out of here. Otherwise you won't be able to get the cover off. You know, if you're fighting to get the cover off, obviously you missed a screw. There were some nice things in this computer server. And one thing I did, there's a power supply inside, and usually I don't bother going after it, and I'll show you where it is after when I get this apart. But this time I did go after it. There's a little board in there, some really nice gold pins, and then this can just go in with your peripheral highs after you clip the pins. That was worth going after, and I usually, like I said, I usually will leave something like this just in there for shred. It also had two very nice brass risers on it, so that was worth it. I went in, I pulled that out, and then I'm just going to chuck this in with my power supplies, no wires. It has some really nice brass pins in here, plenty of value left for the buyer, so we'll do that. I'm working on getting a load ready to go up to Cable Management, which is in Meriden, Connecticut, but once again I am at the mercy of the cold weather, and you know, I gotta get done what I can get done. I'm hoping to meet the gentleman who I've been working with on emptying the storage bin. I don't know if it's in a storage container, so if it's icy we're not going to be able to get in. So I've taken some of this apart already. I took one of these apart last night so I wouldn't make a silly arse of myself on the video. I'll show you some more things that we got out of here that were really noteworthy. Move this over a little bit. I am still working with a little bit of a restriction on my workspace. Nothing horrible, but I got the office set up upstairs. Now I have to get the video room set up. But right now, I gotta get stuff out of the house. Out of the house, off the board sort. As I said, my goal is to get myself to the point where I have at least something coming in from them every day. I really have got to find something better for shipping. It's really expensive. But for the moment, it's working. I shipped off the 2 boxes of telecom boards that we discovered together the other day. Trying to make sure that I keep the camera in the field of view. And again, you've got to make sure you get this security screw out from under this label and the other one from the other side. Take the ears off. wasn't a great board, but there were a lot of other goodies in here. And I like to show you lots of different things in case you get a chance to pick some up or get a chance to buy a pallet. Isn't it better to know what's in those than to not know? Okay. This is odd. The hard drives are actually on the back on this. Oh. But these were very interesting hard drives. Let me just pause for a second. I want to get something to show you. So afraid I'm going to drop this on my foot, and it is heavy. So I pulled the hard drives out. It's odd. They're in the back of the unit, not the front like most that I've seen. So let me see if I can pop these out of here. So these are the hard drives that I found in here. They are made by Intel. That is a SATA connection. So I should have a low-grade power board in here, low-grade hard drive board in here. This is what came out of it. That is a beautiful board. I'm putting them aside. That to me is a high-grade telecom board every day of the week, or possibly a high-grade peripheral. I'm waiting till I get enough of them to bother, and then I'm going to take a picture of these and send it off to board sort, because that's a heck of a board. I just, you have to compare your prices, and I do have to check with board sort. If they're going to buy it from me, they're going to tell me what they're going to buy it as. So I picked up a couple of those yesterday. Also, this is nice, clean cast aluminum. So we'll put that off to the side. Those were very nice. I should have 4 of them. And like I said, I'm supposed to go out and meet the fella today. I just don't know. I gotta make sure it's not too icy because it's a storage container, so it's outside. I couldn't get into it the other day. I tried. Sometimes I have to concede to my age. Sometimes. Alright, so I will get 4 more of these very nice boards. And again, when I get them all ready and I'm about ready to ship them, I'll shoot board sort of picture and ask them, what will you buy these as? They're really super honest. You don't have to worry if you send something to board sort. They're not going to lie to you. They're really very, very forthright and very honest. I like them a lot. Okay, so there's a couple of small screws back here. I've taken the power supply out already. There were 2 of them. This is an empty case. I think. Yeah, there's a power supply here that doesn't want to come out. I'll, instead of fighting with it, I'll get these screws off. I'll get this screw off. When I take the cover out, I'll be able to push that out. I try to get these out ahead of time because they're really heavy, so if you're moving a lot of equipment, lighten the load. Get these out if you can. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the rest of these screws out so I can get the cover off and show you what's inside. I've already done a good deal of preparation on this, and I did take a couple apart last night just to see what was in there. Okay, so I'm going to get the security screw out from the label that's up in the front there. If you can't get the top off, there's usually a reason why. So, don't fight, don't twist, don't force. Go back and find out what did you miss. You saw me struggle with the first batch of stuff I took apart. Well, now that I know where all the screws are, it's become much easier. And I don't have to make a silly arsing myself on the video. Okay. Everything looks to be off on this side. Gotta check the front. Gonna get the plastic cover off. I don't have a date on when this was manufactured. I thought it might be a little bit newer, but it's running a Intel Xeon chip. It's not running even Intel Core or anything that was worth saving. You never know though. You never know. Sometimes people go in and they change things and take different things out and whatever. Okay, I'm going to get the other security screw off the other side. I'm going to scrape the label off here. I am aware that I am limited with field of vision. I'm sorry. I have to get enough subscribers that I know it's going to be worth continuing this. And if I do, you know, we'll get a GoPro and some other things. Right now it's the middle of the winter, and I haven't got permissions to film in a lot of places that I go yet. You know, they don't know me well enough yet, and that's okay. I'll take you along wherever I can. There's a screw here in the top left corner. So how's the weather in your neck of the woods? Once again, it is freezing in Connecticut, and I really mean freezing. It's just so cold. That's kind of part of the problem I had yesterday, was all the stuff I had in the back of Big Red was frozen. I couldn't get it out of the truck, so I worked on everything I had in the house. Got a couple, got another big box ready to be shipped. I did manage to get one load of scrap metal over to the scrap yard. I had to, otherwise I'm just up to my neck in it, and I don't want that. It's the only way to you got to keep ahead of the mess. I like to keep the pickup truck empty so that I can throw the scrap metal in it and then just drive to the scrap yard. Okay. There's some. There's a screw under this that I've got to get off, and then I should be able to get the cover off. This is the front left corner where I took the ears off. There's a plastic piece there. You really shouldn't have to force anything. These should come apart very easily. If you're struggling with it, go back and look, because you missed something. Like I said, I did take one apart last night, so I knew what I was getting into. Okay. Drum roll, please. Let's see if she comes off. See that? Voila. Yeah, even taking these things apart, the bottoms really shouldn't be so hard. So we'll get a nice chunk of wire. There's a Xeon CPU under there. This might be a copper bottom. I'll know when I take it out. Server RAM is very chunky and always very nice to get. April 10th, 2018. Wow, so much for it being newer. Wow. And again, the technology just changes so fast. Unless somebody has a working unit that they need parts for, don't even bother. There's so many people reselling parts. It's really not worth it. This is it says super inside. I'm presuming that is a super micro computer product. Pretty good bunch of chips. Now we've got flat packs, we've got gold-edged BGA chips. I've already taken the battery out. Now this is where I was talking about the power board before, this thing. That's under here, and you'll have to get the screws out from here, and then you'll be able to lift this cover and pull that out. Usually I wouldn't bother, I just clip the wires and be going with it, but like I said, there are some brass pins here. There were clean gold pins and a couple of pieces of brass. You know, why give it away? Why throw it in scrap metal? This is a really nice board too. It's going to be a peripheral high-grade board. Peripheral boards are anything that's not a motherboard. It could come out of telecom equipment. It could come out of microwaves, TV sets, stereo equipment. Those are all peripheral boards. But if it's, you know, it's anything that's not a motherboard. Kind of a generic definition. Your low-grade peripherals are going to have a lot of junk on them, and your high-grade peripherals are going to look like this. It's got a lot of junk on it. It's going to be a low-grade. This is heavy. I'm going to have to take the angle grinder and see if this is copper on the bottom. It might be. Aluminum's very light, but this is pretty heavy, and that'll have to check later, but I'll do that off camera. I have a whole box of these right now. They have these C-clips. I've got to get the angle grinder out, and I've got to clip these, and then I can just push the screws off and sell the heat sinks. That's something I'll do outside when I get a nice day. I don't do that in the house. I just finished painting. I don't want to dirty the house, and I don't. The precious metal dust is very toxic, folks. Don't breathe it in. Don't cut your boards in the house. Just don't do it. You're asking for trouble and filth. It's just messy. Unless you like your house copper colored. Okay. Let's get the board out. Pretty good bunch of wire there. The yard in Meriden is at 49 cents a pound. The yard in Derby is at 30 cents a pound for this spaghetti wire. The yard in Meriden, though, they're a specialty wire company. They're called Cable Management. I mean, that's all. That's 90% of their business is recycling wire. But it's really a haul to get up there. But I'm going to be, as soon as I get a decent day to do it, I'll sell my hard drives without boards. I'll sell my power supplies without wires, and any cable I have. They don't pay as well for aluminum and copper as the yard in Derby does. So, but they're not too far from the place in Meriden. I have a music repair. I own a music school and a band instrument repair business, and one of my repair guys is out in Meriden, so it's kind of try to condense the trips. I've got maybe another 2 months before the returns start coming in, and I'll be really busy with the music school again, so. I do have a fellow who's interested in taking over the music school from me. And I seriously am, I'm hoping he makes me a decent enough offer that I can walk away. I've been doing it for 40 years. I don't want to do it anymore. Not because I don't enjoy it, just because I don't like having to do things. I'm at the point in my life where I'd like to go do what I want to do, not be tied down. So I'm really at this point about 90% retired. We'll see. I'm not in a panic about anything. Whatever happens, happens. And our parent company was sold, where I get my rentals from, and I don't know how that's going to impact my business for the fall. So, yeah, a few pieces in motion. So, ready for whatever they throw at me. I'm ready. I don't worry anymore. Okay, I gotta get these wires out of the way. They just, it makes it hard to work on the rest of the board. Just remember, try and keep your wires separated if you can. If you mix this in with a higher grade wire, they're going to pay you for this. Trust me, it happened to me the other day. So keep your stuff separated. The wire is probably one of the best values in the computer, probably the CPU too, and the RAM, but the wire, you got to get every bit you can. I don't know, with all these tariffs and now the aluminum and steel, I think you're going to see a huge rise in domestic copper, domestic aluminum, and domestic steel. I think the tariffs are going to impact that. We used to sell all our steel and electronics recycling to China. Now that's all going to be impacted. We'll see. I try to stay very unpolitical on this channel. There's enough politics everywhere else if you want to watch politics. All right, I'll snip these after. Okay. All right. That's a pretty good bunch of wire. We just chuck that in the wire bucket. I try to keep everything sorted as I go. Otherwise, I just got a colossal mess on my hands when I'm done here. You notice I haven't mentioned the Super Bowl? Philly played a great game. They were just on fire. They were on fire from the second they walked out of the locker room, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I went to bed before the halftime show because I just did not expect it to be something I would enjoy watching, and really too bad. And I was also not really thrilled about the rendition of the national anthem. That's one song that should be sold straight out, the way it is. Sing it the way it is. It's the national anthem. Don't stylize it. That's my opinion. Sorry. Okay, quick, turn on the screwdriver so I don't make any more political statements. I do think it's a shame that sports betting has had such a negative impact on sports in general. You know, just really sad. Just get out there and play the damn game, you know? I'll take this off. That'd be a really nice backplane board. I've got a bucket of those going. Backplane boards usually have a lot of gold here and here. Obviously, I'll take the metal bracket off. Nice gold fingers. Board sort does pay very well for gold for backplane boards. With the bracket off. This guy, let's see if I can get this out of here. Never force, go find what you forgot to unscrew. 2 screws that I forgot right here. 4 screws. Hard to see these. There's 4 screws right here that I forgot to take out. I don't want to pull and twist on this because if I break the board, then I won't be able to sell it. There's 4 screws here. Pardon the top of my head. If I force it, I'm going to break it, then I'll have to sell it as, you know, rubbish. Come on. There we go. Very nice board. If I were to sell it right like this, this would be a Goldfinger card with heatsink and with bracket. That's the lowest grade you can go on. That's a very nice board, though. You know, it takes 2 minutes to get more value for that. Some kind of an audio card or a small switch, telephone connectors and Ethernet connectors and things like that. Okay, let me see if I can get this fella off of here. Screws. That's a beautiful board. That'd be a really nice Goldfinger card to sell. There are people who would take this off and sell that as a peripheral high grade board. I'm not doing that. It's just too much. If it was damaged or there was a lot of junk that I had to get off of the board to upgrade it, yeah, that's different. This is a perfectly good card to sell. So, Goldfinger card. No heatsink. Missed one. Nice clean piece of cast aluminum. I tested these on the other one I did last night. They're aluminum inside as well. There's no steel there. I can throw that in with my clean aluminum. You got to check. You know, if you have steel in here and the sticks, you have to go with irony light. And again, if they run the magnet and you have one wrong thing in there with your clean aluminum, and they get anything that sticks, they're going to downgrade the whole load. They have to be really careful too at the yards, because when somebody comes in to buy something, it's got to be sorted correctly by the scrapyard. You know, they can get downgraded too. If there's screws on the extruded aluminum, you watch Non-Ferrous Jess. He goes through all the bales and he makes sure there's no screws on there. Because if the load is contaminated, they're going to get a lot less money for it. And they're not talking about pounds, they're talking about tons. you know, and then the buyer gets really ticked off because the scrapyard didn't sort it right. So, you know, there's a lot of moving pieces here. There is another screw on the bottom that I can't get off, so I'm just going to twist this bracket off. Like so. Like so. Like so, like so. It's off the card I go. Doo-doo. There's a screw that I just can't get at under here, so that is a nice clean board now. Most graphics processor cards have Ethernet or Internet inputs and outputs, but this has got a lot of nice gold in it. I'm not going to have any problem with selling this as a Goldfinger card. No heatsink, no bracket. And then it's loaded too. That's really just a very, very nice, that's a nice card. Sometimes you get some that aren't so great. It's nice to put some value in for your buyer. Okay, almost done. I apologize, I am very tired today. I did a lot yesterday. It's good tired, but just not being able to get stuff done because of the weather is just really straighten the bejeebers out of me. I wanted to get at least one video up. I wanted to get up one yesterday, but I just I didn't quite get there. And oops, I know it's a Xeon chip already. Well, I shouldn't say I know. I'm 99.999999999% sure that this is an Intel Xeon chip. You never know, somebody may have upgraded something. Intel Xeno E31275. That's going to sell a scrap. There's no value to it. I'm going to get the brackets off. Most buyers want the brackets off if you can. The only time I leave the brackets on is if I know I'm going to rip the chip off along with it, and no, I don't want to do that either. So point this away from your face or cover it with your hands. I have not hurt myself, but I've gotten a face full of spring. In fact, last night it got me. Okay, now I'm going to be very careful taking this. I'm getting some resistance. Okay. It's okay if the aluminum's painted, by the way. That's a nice clean piece of aluminum, and it's okay. Some yards will do painted aluminum separately. Most of them don't. You do want to put this bracket back down, otherwise it really makes a mess in the shipping box. I'll go ahead and nip that piece of aluminum off here, if I can. Again, most buyers are going to prefer that is off anyway. Okay, it's clean. And that's it. So, where are we going to put this board? Some people will say, ooh, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter. You remember that show, Welcome Back, Carter? Made Johnny Travolta famous. Barbarino. Anyway, I digress. Some people would say, well, it's a small, because I can't fit a quarter, small metal socket green motherboard. Okay, well, it could go in there. But I know it came out of a server. So it is very densely populated. This has much more in the way of gold recovering components than a green socket motherboard would have. This, yeah, green socket motherboard every day if I just did that half of the board. But no, you've got VGAs, you got tantalum. Well, I take that back. I don't see any. No tantalums. Huh. We got flat packs, we got IC chips, gold band crystal oscillator. There should be a lot of gold in the RAM sticks and in the processing units. So yeah, I'm gonna go telecom on this. Probably high grade. Borderline, and again, you know, it's not an exact science, just make your best educated guess. My only concern is there's not a lot on the back of this board. But there's plenty on the front. There's no junk, there's no rubbish, there's nothing, there's not a lot of capacitors, and it is densely populated. I don't think there would be a problem with putting this into high-grade telecom. I don't think there's going to be a problem at all. So that is the upside down stand on your head time. Super micro computers board. Some people are really into gold recovery too. You can snip these and get the gold out if you so choose. And again, that's just how much time you want to spend doing this. I'm going to go after this board here. If I can get it quickly, I'll do it here on camera. If it's going to take me too long, I did show you what you can expect here. Usually I don't go after these. I leave them on for weight, but I wanted to check it. I sold low-grade boards are going to sell as low-grade boards no matter whether you take off one thing, 10 things, or no things. They're going to sell as low-grade boards. So nipping the copper or nipping the aluminum isn't really going to hurt you. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of screws in here. Okay, if you're so inclined and you want to go after this, you certainly could do so. It's just an awful lot. There's screws down in here. There's a lot to go through. But again, what you'll find if you're so inclined, you'll get a board like this, you'll get a couple of pieces of brass, and you'll get some really nice gold pins. I think I'm probably not going to bother, just at least not bother on video, because it's going to take too long and I don't want to waste your time. Okay, that's all she wrote. Have a stellar day, stay warm, it's cold. I don't know about where you guys are. My friend decided to send me pictures of her at the beach and the pool. Now, mind you, Florida was cold 2 weeks ago, but that didn't take long. And I reminded her she grew up 3 houses down from me and it's cold here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. God bless, stay wonderful. See you next time.